What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/TalesFromTheLaw. Alright, this story's called Dr. Drama in Meet the Centaur Associate. I'm a clerk at a civil court in Brazil. My job includes dealing with lawyers and parties who would walk up to our counter, as well as dealing with all the stages of a lawsuit. Some months ago, not long after I changed workplaces to my current court, I got to know one adorable lawyer whose nickname around clerks is Dr. Drama. This tale takes place about 3 months after You Actually Expect Me to Write and Submit? We had 3 very peaceful months without Dr. Drama showing up. Some of us think he was undergoing an unsuccessful treatment in the mental ward. That's neither here nor there. During this time, every now and then, a very loud clopping would be heard on the hallway. While a bit odd, maybe someone in leather heels, I didn't think much about it until I had to deal with the owner of the shoes. It's a very busy afternoon. Most clerks and all interns are dealing with someone at the counter, and there's a small line. I realize that a late 20s good-looking man in a very expensive suit next in line has been staring at me for about 5 minutes now. Tough luck, bud. I'm happily married, is what I want to say. But instead, I stare back at him when I'm done with the lawyer I was helping. We keep staring at each other for about a minute when I give up and say, "May I help you, sir?" He huffs, turns his back, and goes away. His expensive-looking shoes making the exact noise of a horse's hooves. Okay, plenty of crazies around here. I don't really mind one more. I go back to my business and forget about it until I hear, "It was him!" from down the hall and the oh-so-familiar screech from Dr. Drama.
"So you're the one who mistreated my associate!"
I look around and see he is pointing at me. "I don't think so, no," says me in an "I'm too busy for your bullcrap today" tone. The good-looking man walks the hall dramatically and points at me.
"This is the one! I asked him many times about our lawsuit, and he just wouldn't answer! So terribly rude!"
His voice is unfittingly high-pitched. A few people clear the counter because they're probably afraid to catch whatever crazies they have. Dr. Drama approaches and proceeds to, as per usual, slam the counter.
"I was sure it was you! You're the rudest clerk I've ever met!"
He rants for a while before public workers, and his associate does the same. Oh god, it's happening! It's stereo craziness right here in front of me! Suddenly, the associate tugs his sleeve, yells,
"Take it to the judge!"
looks dramatically at me, and both leave. My supervisor, who is looking at me, tells me to just go back to work, and I'm pretty sure I can see a vein bulging on his forehead. Other lawyers who were there the whole time are also looking at me, confused as hell. They know not how blissful they are, for they never had to deal with Dr. Drama. Based on the associate's shoes noise, I can pretty much pinpoint where they are. Down the hall, going upstairs, asking where is our judge's office, walking the upper floor halls, until it finally stops, probably in front of the judge's room. Not 1 minute later, I can hear the stereo screaming from the floor above, and finally, the office's phone rings. It's the judge, and I know it because I can hear my supervisor say, "Your Honor, you've been a judge for 20 years. Does that seem plausible?" Among other things about both lawyers' behavior. Bear in mind that they kept screaming while she was on the phone. When my supervisor hangs up, things upstairs are silent for a while, and then I'm not doing all that, goddamn. The loud screaming resumes in mono, and the sound of shoes is amusingly loud until it dies down. Judging by the sound, Dr. Drama resumed screaming at the judge, and the associate proceeded to fly down the stairs and leave the premises. The distinctive sound of policemen going up the stairs is also heard a few moments later.
"Sir, get on the ground! Don't!"
And there seems to be a small riot in the upper floor before everything is quiet once again after a loud thud. The judge shows up with a frown at our office, a very rare occurrence an hour later. Dr. Drama and his associate have been banned from setting foot in our court building for 1 year, and a grievance has been filed to the Bar Association. She might as well have said she would be sharing her hefty salary with us, based on the joy wave that took our office. "So what happened?" asks my supervisor, unable to contain a grin. The judge sighs. "Apparently, they vehemently insisted that I assaulted his associate, tried to punch him in the chest, stomach, and face, which caused her to call our office, but backed down when she stated they would be arrested and face strong charges if their complaint was found not to be true. When the ban was issued on the grounds of disturbing a judge's work to tell lies, Dr. Drama started to rant like a lunatic. His words weren't making a speck of sense, screaming and pointing at her, and he was to spend 1 night in jail for disrespectful behavior towards a public worker. The associate was smarter and just bolted before she could take him to jail too. Someone in the upper floor called the court police as soon as Dr. Drama started to scream for the first time, and he wound up tased because he tried to resist, and now, she says with a half smile, it was up to the police as to how many nights he would be in jail. And that's how all courts in the building had a blissful year with no Dr. Drama or his centaur associate. Just the third associate, which was the sanest of the 3 by a hair. I'm pretty sure he once defecated on the public toilet's floor out of spite, but that's a story for another day. Alright, and then there's little, edits or little bits of information. Tiny number 1, which was referring to the judge showing up with the frown, which is a rare occurrence. An even rarer occurrence, however, would be the judge showing up at our office with a smile. And then 2, Dr. Drama started to scream for the first time. Yes, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes for the police to arrive. Yes, the judge was in danger this whole time. No, it doesn't make any sense not to have police at the judge's floor. People have been telling administration for decades. They don't seem to care because their room is right next to the police room in the criminal courts building. Wow, that was an interesting story. That's not something you'd expect to happen in such a professional setting. Especially with the people that are supposed to be the professionals there. That's concerning. Alright, this story's called "There is more strategy that goes into who to sue than most people think." I do a lot of insurance subrogation. Basically, an insurance carrier pays its insured for the damages caused by a third party, and then the carrier goes after the third party. Sometimes I'm defending the insurance company's uninsured motorist policy while trying to recover its subrogation. Other times, I'm filing suit as a plaintiff, either as the insurance company or even in the name of our insured. In these plaintiffs' action, you have many options on how to proceed. You get to choose the county you file in and what court you file in. You get to choose how best to frame the legal issues and what legal theories to proffer. You also get to choose who to sue. In car wrecks, you have the option of suing the owner of a vehicle, the driver, or both. And this is really helpful when a parent owns the vehicle their child drives. Kid away at college? Sue the parent only. Kid joins the army and is stationed overseas? Sue the parent only. In some cases, it's better to sue the kid only because a parent will scramble to the defense of their child. Now, I had a case where a non-entity, we'll call moving company, was a sole proprietorship. It's just a guy, we'll call Bob, who moved furniture. This guy had a business license, but he had no insurance policy for his company. He would rent box trucks and use the rental company's policy to cover the vehicle. One day, Bob rents a box truck from a rental company and fails to buy insurance. His son, who has car insurance, lives out of state away, but helps his dad out sometimes. Bob's son is driving the rented box truck and is involved in an accident, costing like $8,000 in damages, which includes our insured's deductible. The son talks to our client, the insurance company, and says that it was all his fault, that he's sorry. He's nothing but cooperative. The father is refusing to pay a dime because he bought the rental company's insurance. He didn't, but he thinks he did apparently. I can't sue the rental company anyway, so that's not helpful regardless. It only affects who will pay. I have choices. Who do I sue? The son is super helpful and his insurance may cover this, but it might not because lots of policies exclude coverage for commercial use of the insured's vehicle. The father's auto policy would probably be the same. The rental company is saying the father didn't purchase the insurance, so they aren't willing to pay up. And I can't recover from the rental company directly pursuant to federal law. Further, I have the option of suing in the county where the accident occurred, like 20 miles away from me, or the county where the father lives, which is like 4 hours away. I am not authorized to file suit out of state, which would be foolish anyway, so if I want to sue the son too, I'd have to file the suit where the accident occurred. What do? I name Bob and Bob's non-entity as defendants, and I file suit in the county closest to me, 4 hours from Bob. Bob's son might be a helpful witness if we had a trial, so there's no use in involving him. I send my summonses by certified mail, and no less than 4 days later, I get a call from Bob's wife.
This is Bob's wife,
she said,
and you are suing Bob. His son is a piece of crap. He needs to pay this. I hate Bob's son. I wish he was dead. Screw him. Bob is gonna have a second heart attack because of his freaking son.
She's yelling, and I just sit there and listen.
Bob's son is supposed to pay this, she says. I'm not gonna let Bob have another heart attack.
I say, ma'am, I've sued Bob. I'm not suing Bob's son. She didn't say anything for a second.
Well, I have my credit card and I'm ready to pay it. I can't let Bob be stressed about this.
At the time, we didn't have a credit card payment system available. So my adjuster called her and told her to go to the nearest insurance company office and just make a credit card payment. She paid it all plus court cost. The matter was resolved very quickly, mostly because of who I sued. Sometimes it's best to sue everyone you possibly can. Other times, it's best to make a surgical strike, as this case illustrates. Okay, that's a good story, but insurance is just not my cup of tea. I'm not saying like I don't like the concept of insurance. I mean, I don't know if I know enough about it to have a good opinion on it, but I'm just saying just like the subject. Alright, this story's called We Are a Private Law Firm, Not the Government. Found this subreddit while looking for somewhere to share this frustrating encounter I had just before I went on lunch break. I work as a legal assistant in a law firm that deals entirely with a very specific aspect of a US branch of government that's very niche. We're the only place that advertises online in more than one state. As such, I'm not gonna go into too many specifics. Because we are associated so closely with the government branch, it's not uncommon to get calls from people who intended to contact government branch instead of a law firm. Our office is too small to have someone working as a receptionist, so a fellow legal assistant and I are the ones who answer the phones here. We don't mind pointing people in the right direction. Everyone makes mistakes, and maybe if they find that they want some help, they'll remember the nice lady at the law firm they called by accident, right? What we do mind is when people can't seem to get it through their heads that we are not government branch and therefore have no access to their systems. I just had a call with a gentleman who not only mumbled the whole conversation, but also didn't seem to be processing what I was saying. I'll call him Mumble Guy. I answer the phone with the standard greeting that includes both my name and the name of the office.
Well, a couple of days ago, I received a letter, and I don't know what the hell it is, and I kind of need some help. If anything, I'm kind of consultation.
I think, cool, possible new client that maybe just got some mail that pushed him into hiring an attorney for his issues with government branch. I'm sorry, sir, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Could you speak up a bit? Mumble Guy, slightly louder but still quiet enough that I'm plugging my free ear so I can hear him over the heating running.
I just got this letter, and it's saying that
government agency is looking over my issue,
but it says online they already decided, but it doesn't say what.
We're a private law firm, sir. You'll have to call government agency to clear that up.
Well, what are you guys for?
Well, we help with the appeals process for his issue, but we don't have access to government branch because we're a private law firm. In order to get any of your information, you'd need to be a client.
How do I become a client?
Well, we'd need to have a look at specific documentation and fill out a questionnaire over the phone, but in order to complete that, you would need to know which of the two things you're looking at is correct. You need to call government branch to clear up the miscommunication on their part. Mumble Guy clearly hoping that I will do the legwork for him.
So I need to call
Government agency.
and then call you back?
Yes, sir. Me, knowing that he's waiting for me to offer and not about to do work for a person who isn't even our client.
Well, I just moved Beverly, sausage in my butt. My wife left me. Took the kids. I like pineapple.
Then you'll need to call the office where you filed and let them know that you moved, as well as asking for clarification on this. After a long silence,
Okay, well, I moved from
state.
and enchilada. Can you help me with it? Can you tell me the number?
It's worth noting here that some states have multiple offices, and I'd be willing to bet that this was one of them. Sorry, I'm in state more than 1,000 miles away. I don't have their number. Sounding put upon.
Okay, I guess I'll call them.
Good luck. Have a good day, sir. Not an exact transcript, but close enough that you get the idea. This is not the first nor the last time that I will have to repeatedly tell people that we are not government branch and have no access to government branch's systems or records. You'd think that people would be glad that lawyers can't just go poking through their personal info like that. Personally, I don't care about my personal info. In fact, my social security number is... Oh, I hope my mic recorded that. This story's called Old Client I Got Acquitted Came Back to Haunt Me. I used to work as a public defender assistant in Latin America, and this just happened. Two friends of mine were building a summer house and got scammed out of approximately $5,000 by their material supplier. Of course, the guy was using a fake name and ID, so it took a while for the police to identify his real name. After we managed to find his true identity, we started to do a background check, looking for past convictions, and it was quite a shock when I realized that I had already met the son of a woman. 3 years ago, while still working at the public defender's office, a case of his got assigned to me. Managed to save his sorry ass from jail after he was accused of, guess what? Scamming someone out of a few bucks. This truly sounds like a legal cosmic prank, and all I have to say is karma's, tough lady. That's not nice sometimes. I'm sure I'll laugh a lot about this in the future. That's actually kind of funny. Can you just imagine that? I want to see that conversation. Like, if I just think it'd be a cool interaction to see. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.